This is the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast. We have assembled the world's finest sports and trivia dorks to prove once and for all that we are just as bad at this as we were at sports.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast, sports trivia for those of us who rode the pine. I'm your host, Josh, and today's game will be pitting the Benchwarmer team of Mason and Marcus versus Benchwarmer Scott and returning player Meesh Resnick. Welcome back to the bench, Meesh. Why don't you take a minute to remind us about yourself?
Hey, guys. My name is Michael, Meesh, the nickname. I live in San Francisco. I'm a fan of the Cleveland teams, although I'm losing interest in all three at an alarming rate. I basically don't watch anymore. But, yeah, Guardians, Cavs, Browns, Mets, Rutgers, Michigan. I went there. What a list. Yeah. I'm 0-2 as a player. This is my fourth time on, so we'll see. But I don't know. I'm feeling good today. And never played with Mason or Marcus before, so nice to meet you both. Thanks for having me on.
Well, welcome again. And Scott, how are you doing? And let us know what your and Meesh's team name is going to be today.
I'm good. I just want to put it out there that Josh actually kind of decided the teams. This was not I am not responsible for this, so if he goes 0-3, it's not on me. It's on Josh because, one, he put the teams together, and two, they're his questions. So really, it's doubly on Josh if he goes 0. So we'll see what happens.
Fair.
Other than that, team name-wise, Meesh is a fan of Cleveland sports teams, and obviously, Cleveland has a soft spot in my heart. My mom and my brother live there. My brother works for the Guardians, so, naturally, I frequent Cleveland often. It's become a city that I enjoy being at, mostly because of their famous grilled cheese. But because of that, and we just want to keep it simple, we decided that we'll be Cleveland Rocks.
All right, wonderful.
Ohio!
And Mason and Marcus, let us know how you guys are doing and what your team name is.
All right, I'll go first since Marcus has a team name. I'm doing well. I just got back home from a long trip like an hour or two ago, so in the midst of unpacking and my apartment being like 95 degrees. So that's fun. But I'm glad to team up with Marcus. Always a good time to team up with him. So yeah, Marcus, what's up?
Hello, Mason. Hello, everyone. I'm good. I just got back from what was basically my Father's Day gift to my dad, him and his best friend, and I took him and my brother. We all went to the Mariners game. They actually won today against the Rays, which is a great accomplishment. But much like Mason, I got home like even less than that. I got home about 20 minutes ago. So, yep, doing fantastic. And when I like to go down and see my friend Elise, who lives in New Orleans, shout out Elise. There's a school down there, a great school. With alumni such as J.P. Lossman and Patrick Ramsey. And we are big fans of that. And tonight, Mason and I, in honor of them, we're going to be Too Lame.
All right, so we've got Cleveland Rocks versus Too Lame.
Marcus, is that the opposite of Too Cool?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, exactly. Too Lame.
All right, well, let's kick it over to Dan for the rules.
The game will consist of 4 quarters of play, each with different trivia style. The styles of quarters 1 through 3 will change from show to show, and I will explain them as we go along. Like any good sporting event, we will have a halftime show after the second quarter with entertainment questions. And in the fourth quarter, our teams will wager from their points accumulated to see who are today's clipboard captains, to be honored like the true benchwarmers they are. All right, let's get this game underway.
All right, today's first quarter will be sporting haikus.
Sporting haikus. For this quarter, there will be 4 questions in haiku form. Each question is worth 25 points.
Okay, question number 1. In Boston 04, first perfect game against A's, an award namesake. you're trying to decipher something, you might need to roll back a little farther.
Well, that kind of fits in what I was thinking, Marcus.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay, you're good. Yeah. All right, we'll check in.
All right, Tulane has checked in, so Cleveland Rocks, you guys can talk it out.
I mean, award namesake is like, I would think it's Cy Young.
Yep.
Like there aren't. I mean, what are the other pitching awards? Like the Rolaids Relief, man. I don't think this is like Dean Rolaids from like 1904.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we sent a list of like 20 pitchers from that era back and forth, but I think we both agree that Cy Young's the one we got to check in with.
Yes, we agree. So checking in Cy Young.
Okay, and Tulane, what did you guys have?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this pitcher pitched in Boston, so it kind of made sense. And he's the only pitcher I can think of that had an award namesake that would have been back in that day. So yeah, we checked in with Cy Young as well.
Both teams will be getting points. The correct answer is indeed Cy Young. Cy Young threw the first perfect game in the World Series era, and it was the third overall, against the Philadelphia Athletics while pitching for the Boston Americans. Domingo Herman is the only other pitcher to throw a perfect game against the A's, which he did just this last week. Although I'm not sure if they checked his arms for sticky stuff because he had some issues with that earlier in the season. Although he was playing the A's, so he probably didn't need it.
What I'm hearing is Cy Young and Domingo Herman, same level.
Well, technically, they're the only two to have ever done it to the A's, so I guess. All right, anyway, let's move on to question 2. 2 schools with 3 picks. 23 NBA draft, SEC, Pac-12.
All right, Josh, we're checked in.
Okay, Cleveland Rocks is checked in. So Tulane, you guys can talk it out.
So we started off with Alabama, but we both aren't sure that they got to 3.
Because I had 2.
Yeah, Brandon Miller, and then they had their big man, I think.
Yeah, I don't remember his name, but they're both first round picks. So
yeah, but Arkansas definitely they had the 6th pick. I honestly can't even remember his name. He went to
Anthony Black.
Orlando. Yeah, Anthony Black went to Orlando.
I remember that. Yeah, that's the one big name.
They had the dude that had alopecia. He went somewhere in the 20s. Gosh, what was his name?
I know you're talking about, but I don't remember his name either.
And then they had another guy, I'm fairly certain. So I feel good about Arkansas. And then with UCLA, Jaime Jaquez went to Miami, and Amari Bailey went. And I think there was another. I think UCLA had a big man too that went. What was his name?
Yeah, they're just like random second round picks that you're not going to remember.
Yeah.
UCLA is the only other one I could think of. Just for Pac-12, there wasn't any other schools that stood out to me.
No, they had a. Yeah, I watched a lot of Pac-12 basketball, as it turns out.
Right. Yeah.
I just don't. I don't know that it could be anybody but them. Yeah, you good with those?
Yeah, so we're going to go Arkansas and UCLA.
Yep.
All right, we'll check that in.
Okay. And Cleveland Rocks, what did you guys have for answers?
Yeah, I couldn't think of 2, like the other 2. I totally spaced on Amari Bailey, but I knew Jaime Jaquez went to your favorite team, Josh, Miami, in round 1. And I knew that they were pretty stacked, like they had some pro level talent. And then for Arkansas, I knew it was Anthony Black, Nick Smith Jr., and then the gentleman that Marcus was referencing with alopecia that I call Baby Villanueva, that's Jordan Walsh. So we also checked in with UCLA and Arkansas.
Okay, both teams will be getting points. Correct answers are indeed Arkansas and UCLA. You named all 3 of Arkansas's. The 3rd UCLA was drafted by the Minnesota Timberwolves in the 2nd round. That's Jalen Clark, who I think was the Defensive Player of the Year.
Yes, he was the one who got hurt.
Yeah, he tore his Achilles right at the end of the season.
Right before the NCAA tournament, because I had a bet on UCLA to win the whole thing, and then he got hurt like right after that, and I was like, oh, well, they're not doing it. So
yeah. Just let you know from the SEC and Pac-12, the other schools that had any picks, Alabama and Kentucky each had 2, and Missouri, Tennessee, South Carolina, and Washington State had 1. Sadly, the Huskies had no draft picks this year.
Not at all surprising. Muhammad Gay was the one who for Wazoo, and he was very good, and we are not.
Okay, question 3. First, HBCU, college men's ice hockey team. Too Tall Jones approves.
We will check in.
Too Lame has checked in. Cleveland Rocks, you guys can talk it out.
You got anything, Scott?
All I have is confusion because he said HBCU and then hockey, and those aren't two things that typically go together. So I don't know.
Also, to the listeners, that was no editing. They were like nodding mid-question. I've never seen anything like it. So they just knew it.
I just came across this recently.
There was recent news of this on internet, so you maybe could have seen it there. So that's where I saw it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm feeling just as confused as I did growing up, half white, half black. Like, I'm not really sure where to land on this. Like, I'm HBCU, but men's ice hockey, not things that I would think go together. And then the Too Tall Jones, like, I don't know enough about him for that clue to help. Like, I know Ed Too Tall Jones, I know who he is, but I don't know what he would approve of or wouldn't approve of because I don't know him personally. So we could just name an HBCU and
North Carolina A&T, Grambling. Grambling was the first one in my head.
I feel like Grambling is always, I mean, it's a safe bet of like, if you say to someone, name an HBCU, like I feel like Grambling is probably one of the first ones that comes up, which leads me to like, it's probably not the answer, but at least we know it's an HBCU.
No, but maybe he was throwing us that bone. I say we go with it.
All right, we're going to check in with Grambling.
Hey, and Too Lame, what'd you guys have?
Yeah, came across this recently, and I believe that they're partnering with the Nashville Predators. They're doing like some kind of like joint campaign, or they're sponsoring or something like that because geographically they're very close. And Too Tall Jones also went there. It's Tennessee State.
One team will be getting points. Correct answer is Tennessee State. And so therefore Dominic Rogers-Cromartie, along with his 14 children, approve as well.
I was gonna say, I was like, he went with Too Tall Jones. I was hoping he would go DRC.
He has a whole hockey team ready to go.
He could, yeah. I've because now we have a team. I watch the NHL draft now for some reason, and yeah, they definitely wanted to make a point about this, and I saw it multiple times. So yes,
yeah, it's pretty awesome. I think that's great.
It's so cool. I love it.
All right, moving on to the last question in Sporting Haikus, question 4. I think you'll probably be able to get this one pretty quick, both teams. NBA big man. Can't stop talking to Pat Bev. Josh wants him traded.
All right, we're checking in.
Okay,
Too Lame has checked in, so Cleveland Rocks, you guys can talk it out.
Big man, it's going to be a Wolves player, so it's really between two.
No, I only wrote Gobert because that was the first one.
Yeah, he doesn't talk to people. He just fights with his teammates.
Yeah.
Right? So
yeah.
He's not talking to anyone. I'm pretty sure this is Cat because Josh wants him traded, and yeah, we just the other day in our chat we were talking about it. So yeah, we're gonna check in with Karl Anthony Towns.
Okay, and Too Lame, what'd you guys have?
Well, at the literal exact same time, Pat ? From me and Mason. And yes, he went on Pat Bev's podcast, said by the time he's retired, he's going to change the game forever and everybody's going to remember him. So, I don't know if he's doing bath salts or I don't know what's up, but we also checked in with Karl Anthony Towns.
Both teams will be getting their points. The correct answer is, in fact, Karl Anthony Towns. After the season, Towns said, quote, I feel like when my time's up and I retire and I put the shoes up, I feel there's people that's going to say that I changed the game. He also claimed that the Timberwolves play-in game win in 2022 was more impressive than the Denver Nuggets winning the championship this year.
That quote I saw.
STFU and go away.
Yeah, when he said the Timberwolves play-in win was more impressive than the Nuggets championship, I said, oh no, he's gone. He's lost it. He's officially a crazy person. He's Kanye.
He's delusional.
I don't think it's bath salts. I think it's a prereq that if you're involved with anyone who is adjacent to the Kardashian family, that you'll say stupid stuff. And so that's where that's coming from, obviously. So
he absorbed the dumb.
yeah, like it happens. You spend enough time around idiots, you become an idiot.
He's not bad. Don't get me wrong. But I wish he was as good as he thinks he is. Because he's not as good as he thinks he is.
That's like 95% of NBA players. But
well,
yes.
That is true. That is true. But he thinks he's the first big man who could shoot three-pointers.
Yeah, I mean, he's not a student of the game. He's never seen Dirk Nowitzki.
Right.
It's like Mehmet Okur's career didn't even happen.
Yeah, Meesh. Mehmet Okur is so much better than Karl Anthony Towns.
He changed the game and no one wants to talk about it.
Hell yes, I'm in. Meesh, you're officially my favorite guest of all time because you brought up a Mehmet Okur. I'm in.
Wow.
All right, well, this rant can probably end, I suppose. Sorry that I got a little carried away with that question. After the first quarter, we have the following scores. Cleveland Rocks is at 75, and Tulane is at 100.
We wanted to let you know that we are on Patreon if you'd be interested in supporting us financially. Your contributions will be used to help us cover the costs that it takes to bring you the high-quality sports trivia you have come to expect from us. There's also some great perks that come with the Patreon membership to the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast, including bonus episodes and Benchwarmers swag. You can find us at patreon.com/benchwarmerstp. Thanks.
Today's second quarter will be The Missing Link.
The Missing Link. This quarter will consist of 5 questions with theme-linked answers. The teams will attempt to answer the questions and guess the theme. Each question is worth 20 points. If a team checks in first via chat to the host with the correct theme before the 5th question, they will earn 100 points. The other team can still earn 50 points with the correct theme guess. If neither team has checked in with the correct theme before the 5th question, each team can earn 50 points with the correct answer to the theme after the 5th question.
Question 1 in The Missing Link. What quarterback who was drafted in the 3rd round of the 2019 NFL Draft out of West Virginia is the 3rd-string quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys?
Yeah, that's what I thought. I didn't know he was with Dallas, but okay.
Me neither.
I had him,
but everything else makes sense,
right? Yeah, I had him in a completely different spot. So okay, that
yeah.
works.
All right, we're checking in.
Okay, Tulane has checked in, so Cleveland Rocks, you guys can talk it out.
Ooh, I wasn't aware that they were carrying a 3rd QB. I thought it was just Prescott and Cooper Rush for the last couple seasons.
Also, I don't know if we should. The way they said, I didn't even know he was on the Cowboys. Is that like a new thing? I don't know.
Right. You know what? I think it's I know who it is. Yeah, he actually has been there. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Will Greer.
Oh yeah, that
He went
feels
to
right.
Virginia.
He definitely. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yeah. I went to a Cowboys preseason game last season. I'm pretty sure actually, yeah, he was on the sidelines. Forgot that I saw him there. Miraculous beard. Actually, you kind of look like Will Greer. Now that I'm looking at you and I'm thinking about Will Greer, like you've got hair and a beard, like you kind of look like Will Greer.
Wow. Nah,
Mason, you don't. You also have hair and a beard.
I can't picture Will Greer, so.
Well, after this, not now because we don't want to cheat, but after this question, Google Will Greer with safe search on, and then you can see.
Save search.
We're going to check in with Will Greer.
And Tulane, what did you guys have?
Yeah, we it didn't have much thought. It was the time frame fit. Mr. Hornsdown himself, Will Greer, is what we checked in with.
Both teams are getting points. Correct answer is Will Greer. He was drafted by the Carolina Panthers. He started 2 games for them in 2019, throwing 0 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. He has not played in an NFL game since.
And again, he's the reason oh, nobody can do this anymore because Texas bitched and complained about people doing horns down because it hurt their little feelings. So
Forgot about that.
Okay, question 2 in the missing link. What backup center for the Cleveland Cavaliers, who has hair like Sideshow Bob, is not half as successful as his older brother?
oh. Well, that could have applied to multiple people, but you good, Mason?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, we'll check in.
Tulane has checked in, so Cleveland Rocks, you guys can talk it out.
I don't know that we have to talk it out.
Yeah.
Go ahead. It's your team.
Okay. Robin Lopez. We're checking in.
And Tulane, what did you guys have?
I was thinking about Anderson Varejao, and then you said half as successful as his brother. And there's only one brother that I can think of with Sideshow Bob hair, so we checked in with Robin Lopez.
Both teams will be getting points. Correct answer is Robin Lopez. He is younger than his twin brother Brooke by 1 minute. And did you know that he is an avid comic book enthusiast and also participated in theater productions at Stanford?
All right.
He's also a big movie nerd. I've seen it on Twitter over the years.
So the theme linked answers thus far are Will Greer and Robin Lopez. Moving on to question 3. What member of the 500 Home Run Club is on the Philadelphia Baseball Wall of Fame and is a member of the Athletics and Boston Red Sox Halls of Fame?
All right, we'll check in.
Tulane has checked in. Cleveland Rocks, you guys can talk it out.
All right, Meesh. So he kind of like before the game, Josh told us this was going to be a very modern game. So let me.
I said most.
Red Sox, and it's modern. No, I think this is Jimmy Fox. He's the one of the people that comes up when I think A's and Red Sox, and especially Hall of Famer and 500 homers. I'm pretty sure.
Also, yeah, Philadelphia Athletics Red Sox. It wouldn't be like if it was a really recent player, or unless he's from Philadelphia, I guess. But
like it's no, this isn't. Yeah, no, it's not like Jet Lowry who played.
Yeah.
The A's.
Yeah, that's the only reason it's not. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the only reason. Jed Lowry in the 500 home run club. We're going to check in with Jimmy Fox.
And Tulane, what did you guys have?
Yeah, it was the only thing that made sense. Basically the same logic as them. Yeah, we went with Jimmy Fox as well.
Both teams are getting points. Correct answer is Jimmy Fox. He is mentioned in the poem Line Up for Yesterday by Ogden Nash. X is the first of 2 X's in Fox, who was right behind Ruth with the powerful socks. Okay. Yeah, let me bring a little culture to you guys here. Yeah.
Ogden Nash is actually a really good poet.
I didn't say he wasn't.
I'm just saying. I'm saying like he has a lot more famous stuff than that. But yeah, he did write a baseball poem.
Certainly. I don't think this is what he's known for.
It's one of the things I suppose. But
yeah. All right. So the theme linked answers thus far are Will Greer, Robin Lopez, and Jimmy Fox. Moving on to question 4. What 2019 first-team All-SEC defensive end from Auburn was drafted in the second round of the 2020 NFL Draft by the Atlanta Falcons?
We can check in, Meesh, if you're comfortable with me doing that. All right, we're checked in, Joe.
Okay, Cleveland Rocks is checked in. Tulane, you guys can talk it out.
I feel like I should know this, but it's not coming to me off the top of my head.
Second round in 2020, all
Falcons.
SEC.
I mean, I see this player twice a year, so you think I'd remember who this is?
Yeah,
you personally see him.
Well, not personally, but
I don't know who it is yet.
Oh man,
Mason has a standing date with him. Oh my gosh, yeah, this is why can't I think of this? It's right there. It's
I mean, do you have any idea as far as like other ways to go about this?
Because of the thing?
Yeah,
I think we can just say it if the theme is what we think it is,
Okay. So
is there anything
that fits
Yeah, it's oh, okay. Yeah. All right.
You have something?
I used the other thing
Okay.
to
The
get
other
there.
thing.
Right.
Okay.
I think this is Marlon Davidson.
Oh,
He's not
yes.
very good.
That's the
but
name. That's the name.
yeah.
Yep.
You good with that?
Yeah. I forgot about him. He's very forgettable.
Yes.
So
Very forgettable. Okay.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
We'll check in with Marlon Davidson.
Okay, and Cleveland Rocks, what did you guys have for an answer?
Marlon Davidson.
Both teams will be getting points. The correct answer is Marlon Davidson. On December 5th, 2021, he recorded his first career interception, a pick six against Tom Brady. And he hasn't done a whole lot more. I think he's been injured a bunch. Because I think after he got drafted, he was on the COVID IR. And then last season, he hurt himself and I think was out the whole season. And I can't remember who he's with now. Maybe San Francisco. He's somewhere else right now. But yeah. So the theme linked answers thus far are Will Greer, Robin Lopez, Jimmy Fox, and Marlon Davidson. Moving on to question 5. I anticipate seeing some fast check-ins. What goalie who led the NHL in shutouts for the 1995-96 season while playing for the Washington Capitals was known as the Net Detective?
You expected some quick check-in?
Oh, I think
okay.
I do know this.
I mean, I have an idea, but
I don't know. I mean, that would make sense to me for
correct. But when I think of that, I think of this person, but I don't think that's right. You know what I mean? That position and whatever. But we could do that.
Is that? Am I thinking of a person?
Sure. Yes, I think we should do it, Mason. That's what I'm saying.
Wait, hold on.
No, your answer is what we should do.
Wait, really? Okay.
Maybe, yeah.
All right, sure. We're gonna go with that. Okay. We're gonna check in.
Tulane has checked in. Cleveland Rocks, you guys can talk it out.
Oh man, the Net Detective. So it's like, is it Ace Ventura, Net Detective? Like I'm trying to figure.
That's probably. I mean, based on what you've already texted, that feels right.
I mean, Ace Ventura is not an actual goalie. He's just a character.
How do you know that? How do you know?
You're right. You know what? You're right. I don't know what
it'd be incredible.
Ace Ventura.
I don't think it was based on a true story. I'm pretty sure it wasn't.
Ace Ventura, Net Detective. But I think that could sort of help. I can't name many goalies in general, and then when you give me like mid 90s, that list gets even smaller. I can't go Marty Brodeur, can't go Dominic Hasek because they've burned me in the past. They are the Eddie George of hockey players for me on this podcast. So the only guy that I feel like makes sense is maybe Carey Price. He fits. And it's a name that I've heard, and I think he was a goalie.
I mean, yeah, you're the hockey guy on our team. You don't know it, but you are.
Oh, man. All right.
Oh, boy.
We're going to check in. The hockey guy on our team says Carey Price.
Unless it's players who were in NHL 06 on GameCube. Otherwise, I got nothing for you.
I don't know if this guy was, but we're checking in Carey Price.
All right. And Tulane, what did you guys have?
Marcus did throw out Carey Price to me. We did not go with that, however, because based on the last part is Net Detective, and I have a vague recollection of someone with this last name being a goalie. So we just checked in with the last name of Carey, and we're going to leave it there.
Well, one team will be getting points because the correct answer, and for the second straight missing link, my fifth one has a first and last name that fits. The correct answer is Jim Carrey.
Hey.
Thank
you.
Nice.
Now his is spelled with one R, where the actor has two R's, but they are both Jim Carrey. And Jim Carrey, the goalie's other nicknames that he had during his playing days were Ace and The Mask.
There you go.
So
I wish one of his nicknames was Fire Marshal Bill.
We call him the cable guy.
So the theme-linked answers are Will Greer, Robin Lopez, Jimmy Fox, Marlon Davidson, and Jim Carrey. Both teams submitted correct answers to the theme, one doing so right after the second question was asked. So I will let them let you know what the correct theme is. So Cleveland Rocks, you get to let us know.
So I actually, for the first time ever, I wanted to send it after question one because Greer, there's really no other Greer. But I wanted to at least clue my teammate in on what was going on. So I didn't want to just in case. But I was like, I think this has to be it, unless it's Pam Greer. And I was like, if it is, then I can't do anything. So then after Lopez, I was like, okay, I was trying to figure out where that fit for a second. And then it dawned on me. So we checked in with In Living Color cast members.
Correct. I actually had it a little more specific, but I wasn't going to make you guys get more specific because while technically I did have a first name in question 4 that fits, these were all based on their surnames except for the 5th, because these are all In Living Color cast members not named Wayans.
Correct.
Since Scott, you had used the Wayans recently, I was like, okay. And I wanted to have a theme that I thought would have a good chance of getting. So
we were gonna submit pretty much at the same time that they clearly did submit, and we were kind of haggling back and forth of whether we wanted to submit it.
You would have had to have submitted it super fast because I think he sent it as he was checking in, which was pretty quick. So
we waited until it was
it was pretty quick. So
that's fun because I'm like, Greer, what else can it really be?
Good thing Scott's sniffing that out. I typically use first names for most of my missing links. I have rarely used surnames, but I have a couple of times.
Yeah, once it was Lopez, I was like, okay, Jennifer Lopez, David Allen Greer. This has to be.
I was just gonna say. So for those of you listening who maybe aren't familiar with In Living Color, those cast members are David Allen Greer, Jennifer Lopez, Jamie Foxx, Tommy Davidson, and Jim Carrey. Many of the non-Wayans is.
Well, I think technically with Davidson, what was the name?
The answer, Marlon Davidson.
Yeah, Marlon Wayans.
I know,
there at
but
the end.
He was.
Oh yeah, you're right.
I was going for was for surnames of the ones who are not Wayanses.
But that's why it was like when Mason was like, obviously they had already submitted, so it didn't matter. But when he was like, "Is there another way you could get to this?" and I was like going through the cast names in my head, and I was like, Davidson. I was like, oh gosh, Marlon Davidson.
So just to let you know, Marlon Davidson for me is an absolute who. But I thought, okay, we got 2 draft guys, one on each team, and Mason's an SEC football guy. So I thought, all right, there's a good chance.
Yeah, Mason sees him twice a year. Well, he did. So
yeah,
that
was good.
You wouldn't know him from the NFL. You would have to have really known him from Auburn in the draft. All right. After the second quarter, we have a lead change. Cleveland Rocks is up to 255, where Tulane is only at 250. So it's a tight one, but yes, Cleveland Rocks has taken the lead. And that brings us to halftime.
It is now time for the halftime show. There will be 3 entertainment questions pertaining to sports, with each question worth 25 points.
And Mason, sorry about this, but it's another edition of ChatGPT pre- and post-game. I asked ChatGPT to make up plots for movies based on a combination of 2 movies, with at least one being a sports movie. They're not hard per se, but Mason just doesn't watch movies.
It's fine. It's okay. You got it, Marcus. I believe in you.
Okay, question 1, or plot number 1. The film follows David and Billy, 2 talented but underestimated white street ballers, streetball players who discover they possess the ability to teleport. With their newfound power, David and Billy enter high-stakes streetball tournaments using their teleportation skills to outwit opponents and achieve basketball glory, while surprising everyone who doubted them. It's a thrilling blend of sports, action, and supernatural abilities that challenges stereotypes and celebrates the extraordinary.
Is this a real movie? Because this sounds like a real movie.
All of these are going to sound like
Okay.
real movies.
I'm not familiar with one part of it, but okay. I trust you, Marcus.
Hold on.
Okay. Like I said, I'm not familiar with that, but I trust you. If you, I had agreed on the other part, so that's fine. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good with that. Like I said, I have no recollection of that even
Oh,
existing.
boy.
So there you go.
Well, I hope. Oh gosh. All right. We're gonna check in, I think.
All right. Tulane thinks they have checked in. So Cleveland Rocks, you guys can think about talking it out.
We're just gonna teleport out of this podcast because we don't know the answer.
I can't think of any movie with teleporting.
Yeah. So I do think you asked about White Men Can't Jump, and I do think his name was Billy, a white streetball player, but there was only one. Even though it's misleading.
But it could be a combination. Chat GPT just taking David could be from the other movie.
Right, that's what I'm thinking. It is misleading title. The movie White Men Can't Jump is really about one man that can't jump. So yeah, sure. White Men Can't Jump. Teleport. I mean,
the only movie with jump I can think of is the Disney Channel movie Jump In, where they do double dutch.
The Corbin Blue? That Corbin Blue?
Yeah. Corbin Blue and Kiki Palmer. What a
Palmer,
star-studded cast. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Black excellence on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like that would be fitting for White Men Can't Jump or Jump In, I suppose.
So is it White Men Can't Jumper? Jumper with Hayden Christensen is like a movie with teleportation.
Oh, I mean, if you have a movie with jump and teleportation, check in that.
And Samuel L. Jackson is the villain. Yeah, it's an underrated movie. So let's do that. We check in pre and post game form. So we'll say White Men Can't Jumper.
Okay. Keep in mind that this is the Chat GPT pre and post game edition, so that should be pre and post game style.
So I made sure.
Tulane, what did you guys have for an answer?
Yeah, well, the first part of this sounded an awful lot like, well, I mean, the most of it sounded a lot like White Men Can't Jump, and I was thinking of teleportation movies, and Jumper came up. Although in my head, I thought Jumper was the Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Bruce Willis movie, so
Sure.
I don't think it really matters because we also checked in with White Men Can't Jumper.
Both teams will be getting points because the correct answer is White Men Can't Jumper.
What a great! This sounds incredible. This movie.
I say ChatGPT does a good job of making fictitious movies.
So which one is it? What is Jumper?
Jumper is definitely the Hayden Christensen one. I don't remember what the name of the
Looper. That's what it is. Okay, it doesn't matter. I got to the same point.
You got to the answer.
There we go.
It was definitely Hayden Christensen.
Looper, Jumper, same difference.
Yes.
So where Joseph Gordon-Levitt had that horrible CGI on his face to look like young Bruce Willis, and I'm like, you guys couldn't do makeup. You had to do that. All right.
I'm one of the few people that owns Jumper on DVD still. To this.
Well, there you go. All right, you guys ready for plot number 2? All right, here you go. The film follows Peter, a forward-thinking baseball manager who uses statistical analysis to build a winning team. In a surprising twist, Peter discovers that one of his players, Randy, is a ping-pong prodigy. Peter combines his unorthodox baseball strategies with Randy's table tennis skills to form a hybrid team that challenges traditional sports conventions. As they face off against formidable opponents, the team's unconventional approach and comedic antics create a unique and uproarious journey towards sports glory. With humor, sportsmanship, and the power of unorthodox thinking, This film delivers a hilarious and thrilling underdog story where unlikely heroes emerge from the unlikeliest of sports.
Yeah, we can check in.
Tulane is checked in, so Cleveland rocks. You guys can talk it out.
I think
We
you got
also good.
I think you got it.
Okay. We'll check in with Moneyballs of Fury.
All right, and Tulane, what did you guys have?
I think this might be a Daddy Alaska Enterprise. Is that right?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. Yeah, we also checked in with Moneyballs of Fury.
Well, both teams will be getting points because the correct answer is indeed Moneyballs of Fury. See,
They really tried hard for a little while to push Dan Fogler on us.
That's true.
And you know what? I like him. I actually think he's very funny.
You know
But
what?
him being the lead of a movie, no. Can't do it.
All right, time to go with the third and final movie plot. The story follows Maggie, a talented young boxer who, after a life-altering accident, turns to a life of crime as a skilled wheelwoman. With a unique set of skills honed in the ring, she became an invaluable asset to a team of professional criminals executing daring heists with precision and finesse. As her journey unfolds, she finds herself torn between her newfound criminal family and her deep-rooted passion for boxing, ultimately leading her to a pivotal crossroad where she must confront her past and make a life-altering decision. It's a thrilling tale that explores themes of redemption, loyalty, and the pursuit of one's true calling, where the art of boxing and the art of the perfect getaway converge in a heart-pounding adventure.
We can check in.
Cleveland Rocks is checked in. Tulane, you guys can talk it out.
So it seems like if this were true to form, that this would be some sort of amalgamation of there would be some elements of Weekend at Bernie's in here if it were if it were actually what we're thinking of. So Mason, are you good with $1 million Baby Driver?
Yeah, that's fine. I'm good with
Okay. We're checking in with $1 million Baby Driver.
And Cleveland Rocks, what did you guys have?
We also checked in with $1 Million Baby Driver.
Well, once again, clean sweep of halftime. The correct answer is $1 Million Baby Driver. So this is I don't know if you guys have been on any of but the games where I've done these. Have you guys?
I have.
Ooh, this is the third, and just to let you know, I got like 20 more of these, so they're going to be around for a while.
I mean, yeah, they write the question for you.
That literally, it writes the question for me. Correct.
Oh my gosh. I was dying. I was just thinking about this. Oh,
Hey, don't
man.
laugh too hard. This is how they're going to do it one day.
Yeah.
Sadly, somebody's going to listen to our podcast and be like, gold.
Yeah,
They're
no.
going to make billions of dollars
Neil
off
Fisher.
of these.
Yeah. That white man can't jumper. I'm telling you, that's
I've already been promised a starring role at some point in one of Neil's
Well, they
projects,
tried a
so
White Man Can't Jump remake this year. I don't know anyone who saw it, but
I definitely
Jack
actively am not trying to watch it.
If it had been this one, White Men Can't Jumper, or White Men Can't Jump In, that sounds pretty good too.
Or White Man Can't Looper.
Looper.
white man can't jump in. We already know Corbin Blue's got basketball skills. Okay, he was the second leading scorer on the Wildcats after Troy Bolton.
That's right.
and got the big
Yeah,
steal
he
in
looked
the championship
supernatural
game.
with a basketball in his
Yeah,
hands.
Okay, well, that's after that fun-filled halftime. I don't think anyone's ever missed any of my halftime ones like this. So, hey, I hope people enjoy them. I like them. They make me laugh. So, halftime scores, we have the difference didn't change. It's still a 5-point game. Tulane's at 325 and Cleveland Rocks is at 330. Now on to the second half.
We'd like to take a minute to invite you to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at BenchwarmersTP. We also have a Facebook group for fans of the pod called The Bench. Join us there to comment on the latest episodes and share cool sports facts and trivia. If you'd be willing to rate and review us on iTunes or Stitcher, we'd greatly appreciate the support so that other people may find this podcast. Thanks.
And the good news for Tulane is that today's third quarter will be Lucky 7.
Lucky 7. For this quarter, there will be 3 lists containing 7 items. The team that is trailing coming into the quarter will choose the first list and attempt to identify the items on this list one at a time. If the team has an incorrect guess, the other team can attempt to finish that list out. The team leading at the beginning of the quarter will select the second list, and whichever team is trailing after the first 2 lists will get the third list. Each item is worth 10 points.
We'll see how this one plays. This could be, you guys might all think these are all too difficult, but I don't care. They are what they are.
I don't care.
Your list possibilities are, list number 1, MLB battery mates with the most games started since 1975. Name either the pitcher or the catcher. You don't have to name both. List number 2 is the most turnovers during the 2022-23 NBA season. That is by players. And list number 3 is the most interceptions since 2020 in the NFL, and that is defensive players.
Oh boy! All right.
So,
Oh boy!
You guys have had a bunch of easy. You guys have got most of these questions, so I figured this King one could get a little more difficult.
Can it though? You could have been super cool and then
I could have made it more difficult and made you name both the pitcher and the catcher for the battery mates.
I'm kind of surprised you didn't.
I don't know that would have changed. Yeah, I don't know. Like,
I think that you should be able to get.
So you're basically just saying most pitchers or catchers with the most.
There are battery mates who have a pitcher and a catcher who have most starts. You just have to pick either the pitcher or the catcher to let me know.
But if the pitcher then starts with a different catcher, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Those are irrelevant. This is specifically ones who threw to each other. It's not who had the most starts as a pitcher or who had the most starts as a catcher. It's together. You only have to name one or the other.
Assuming there's no overlap, like a catcher.
Yeah, it wouldn't make sense if there was the catcher.
There is literally zero overlap.
I didn't think you'd do it if it was.
What do you feel like, Mason?
I'm good with either one of those. So whatever one
you make the decision. You're more sober than me. This is how this works.
Oh boy, I kind of lean the second one I said. You want to go with that?
Yeah, that's fine.
I think we can get enough of those that will be okay.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
All right, we're gonna do the most interceptions since 2020 in the NFL.
All right. Well, why don't you take up to 5 minutes and come up with your list?
We're gonna check in.
All right, Tulane has checked in. Give me a second to get back to what I need to here. All right, you guys can start naming off your list, and I'll let you know if they're there.
We're going to start off with Trevon Diggs.
Trevon Diggs is tied for first with 17 interceptions in 45 games.
Oh, am I just going, Mason?
Oh, I mean, I can go with the next. I'll go for it. We can alternate. All right. Next, we're going to go with J.C. Jackson.
J.C. Jackson is tied for first with 17 interceptions in 38 games.
You heard us discussing which of which. I'm going to say Quandre Diggs.
Quandre Diggs is fifth with 14 interceptions in 50 games.
We'll go with Xavier Howard.
Xavier Howard is tied for third with 16 interceptions in 47 games.
The Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu.
Tyrann Mathieu is tied for sixth with 12 interceptions in 48 games.
Next, we're going to go with Justin Simmons.
Justin Simmons is tied for third with 16 interceptions in 45 games.
All right, so we can close it out, Marcus.
Yeah, let's hope. We had a thorough discussion about who this last person should be, and we are going to check in with our last answer of Minkah Fitzpatrick.
Minkah Fitzpatrick is tied for sixth with 12 interceptions in 47 games.
Woo!
You guys ran the list. I am
Ooh.
super impressed.
Hey, when you're in a Devi league where you have a full defense, like fantasy wise, I think on my team I have Quandre, I have Justin Simmons, and I have Trevon Diggs. So I know they have high interception numbers, and yeah, when Mason and I were talking, we were like, well, which Diggs are we gonna go with? I'm like, I'm pretty sure they're both on there because Quandre's a sneaky one because he's had some decent interception seasons since he came over from Detroit.
So after these guys, we have two players tied at 8th with 11. That's Jordan Poyer and Harrison Smith.
Nice. Mason.
And then 3
Jordan
players tied for 10th with 10. That's Kevin Byard, James Bradbury, and CJ Gardner-Johnson.
Oh, Mason
had
had 2 of those guys. Yeah.
Had Poyer and CJ because CJ had 6 last year.
Whew.
Nice.
So well done on that list. Oof. So Cleveland Rocks, which of the other 2 lists would you guys like to attempt?
I don't know. I don't love either one of them, but I feel like there's a chance we can get a steal more.
And also, Marcus and Mason better than me.
Well, I just feel like we have a better chance.
Yeah.
Look up on list 1, and we can try to steal a couple. So we're going to take list 2, the turnovers.
All right. Well, take some time here and come up with your list. I'm sure you probably were working on some of it already, but let me know when you've got your list complete and ready to go.
Okay. We could check in.
Okay. Cleveland Rocks is checked in, so you guys can start letting me know your answers one by one. I'll let you know if they're on the list. This is for looking for the most turnovers by a player during the 2022-23 NBA season.
Okay, first we'll do Trae Young.
Trae Young is first on the list with 300 turnovers.
Next we'll do Luka Doncic.
Unfortunately, Luka Doncic is number 8 on the list with 236.
Ooh.
Oh, here goes your 0-3, me.
Wow. I was not expecting that.
Left.
Not at all. Wow.
So,
wow.
Prepare for this.
You got a little bit of time to try and come up with your guys' answers if you didn't have some. And Cleveland Rocks, if you guys want to start working on your battery mates, you're going to get the first shot at that.
Oh,
all right. Well,
I had Luka as an answer.
Huh? Yeah, you did. And we had a bunch of other answers, so we can go with one of those other guys. So Young is already gone. I mean, I feel. What do you want to go with next? I guess we both had one name in common, so we should go with that one.
I feel like Westbrook has to be up there.
Yeah,
there's no question.
Yes, let's do it.
All right, Russell Westbrook.
Russell Westbrook is number 3 with 255 turnovers.
Okay.
Someone
above Westbrook. Okay.
Interesting.
I thought he would have been 2, but
who do you want to go with next?
You felt pretty good about Jordan Poole. I feel like.
I mean, he didn't do a lot of things well, but one thing I think he did a lot of was turn the ball over.
And I think he played almost every game. I mean, he was
right because like Steph and Clay and all those guys were rotating out, and it seemed there was one constant, and it was Jordan Poole.
Jordan Poole. Yeah.
So
okay.
I
like that.
Okay. We'll check in with Jordan Poole.
Jordan Poole is number 4 on the list with 252 turnovers.
We could go back to the volume idea. It didn't work for Luka, but
the other 2 guys, I mean, might as well. I don't really have anything better. We only have a couple more names that we were throwing around, so sure. Yeah.
I would say probably Jokic would be more likely, just because he's their primary guy. So we're gonna go Nikola Jokic.
Nikola Jokic is number 5 on the list with 247 turnovers.
All right.
Okay, well, we only have one other name.
Yeah, there's only one other name we had thrown around.
So if we make it, we're going to have to just pull something out of nowhere.
Yeah, so again, going back to the volume idea, somebody who handled the ball on pretty much every possession for his team, Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Number 6 on the list is Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Holy Mother of God.
So there's 2 and 7 left. So
And we
you
have
guys got to
nothing.
come up with some more names.
Nothing.
All right.
I
All right, you have
ugh,
any
God.
primary ball handlers that would be
Like
up there?
Jalen Green for Houston. He seems like a real
Ugh.
idiot.
I'm just trying to think,
De'Aaron Fox handled the ball
or
a
even like
bunch.
people are scoring a lot because they would have it. Like, I'm just trying to think of anyone that, like Embiid, but probably not because he missed.
No,
some
yeah,
time.
I don't think he played enough. Yeah, I don't think he played enough.
What about someone like Julius Randle? Because he would.
Yeah, he did handle the ball a ton because they didn't
Right.
really. I mean, well, actually, Brunson handled
No.
the ball a lot.
Oh, well. Man, I don't know.
Jeez, Jimmy Butler. Like, I don't know. I'm just thinking of guys who kind of, carried the ball down.
Anthony
I don't know.
Edwards.
That could be one. I mean,
So I'm just trying
who
to think of
else would be
scores,
handling
like
the ball for them.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I don't.
You know what could be a sneaky one is somebody like Domantas Sabonis because they kind of run their offense through him. Him
don't
or
hate
Fox, I think, could be on there.
I'd probably go Sabonis over Fox, but I could see either one of them being
Okay.
out there.
What,
I'm
what,
fine with that.
What you want to go Sabonis?
Sure. I mean, we're kind of scrambling anyway, so
Okay.
I'm fine with that. He might sneak on number 7.
Okay. We'll check in with Domantas Sabonis.
Domantas Sabonis is number 9 on the list with 230. So you guys did get 40 points on that one. Just to let you know, you guys did mention the number 2 player, and that is who I'm hoping will eventually win a championship with the Minnesota Timberwolves, Anthony Edwards, with 259 turnovers, and number 7 was Jaden Ivey with 237.
I never would have guessed.
Oh
I haven't
God.
thought about the Pistons in so long. I never would have even thought of it.
Other people to round out the top 15. Number 10 was mentioned, Joel Embiid, 226. I think he was pretty healthy most of the season. I mean, he did win MVP.
Yeah.
You mentioned number 11, Julius Randle, 216. Number 12, Jason Tatum, 213.
Yeah, makes sense.
Number 13, Josh Giddey, 211. Number 14, Ja Morant, 206. And number 15, Draymond Green with 204.
If Ja Morant had played the whole season, I would have absolutely had him at the top, like one of the tops on my list. For
well,
sure.
If he would quit flashing pieces on Instagram Live, maybe he could have played a whole season. Well, it won't happen this next year. Maybe the season after.
He needs
season.
better fall guys. Chris Carter, help him out.
He doesn't want fall guys. He wants everybody to think he's the thug.
Oh,
whatever. Anyway, I don't like that guy anyway because he.
Hey,
plays
it's
out of
fine. They got
control.
Desmond Bain for a cheap deal. I do love him, but yeah, 207 million is wild. Yeah. I honestly, I was defending him, Josh, without any I hadn't seen the deal, and then I saw the deal, and I said, "Oh, good God, he got 207 million!
He got a max deal.
Goodness,
I mean,
yes, he did.
Could he live up to it? He could.
He could.
But he had one great season this last year, right? He was good before that, but one great season. And that's when you get to capitalize. You get to sign that.
Hey, I blame Tyler Johnson. Remember when he signed with Miami? When he was playing for Brooklyn, he signed for 4 years and 80 million. That was the beginning of the end.
All right, Cleveland Rocks. I know you guys are feeling a little sting probably from that second list, but you guys feel like you got a list to.
Yeah, we're working on one.
Okay, all right. You got some more time here.
Okay. Yeah, we're as good as we're gonna get.
All right, so you ready to check in?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, Cleveland Rocks is gonna attempt to give me as many of the MLB battery mates with the most games started since 1975 by naming either the pitcher or the catcher. Don't have to name them both.
First, we'll go just to flex before this all blows up in flames. We'll go Yadier Molina. I'm pretty sure him and Wainwright moved to number 1 last year, but we just checked in with Molina.
That is correct. Yadier Molina and Adam Wainwright have 328 starts with the Cardinals, or had 328 starts.
Next, we're going Veritek.
Oh, here it is.
Oh boy.
He is not in a battery mate that is in the top 8.
Oh boy.
Oof.
Only found second.
All right, Mason.
Oh boy.
Oh gosh.
Well, Wakefield had a personal catcher, but not Derek. None of them. None of them.
Ooh,
Okay.
okay.
So
Sorry
which
about
one do
that,
you-
guys.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't trying to beat you guys up for hoof.
Ooh, okay. Do we want to go with the first one?
Next time you play. So, because
Oh gosh, sure. I
Hey,
don't
there's
know.
still a fourth quarter. I mean, it's not over.
Sure,
necessarily.
Mason. Just do the first one that you put because I agreed with that.
Okay. So we'll go with the name I said, the first name I said, I assume, for the catcher.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna go with Ruiz.
Tied for 6th is Carlos Ruiz with Cole Hamels.
Yeah. We had
We had
that
the
one, but
We
yeah.
had
207
yeah,
starts with the Phillies.
Okay,
All right.
Mason.
Do we
what
go with yours?
I
Go with the
mean,
catcher again? We're gonna
we
go
didn't
catcher
really.
again?
Yeah, we didn't really talk about
No.
a pitcher that we felt confident with, but
Yeah.
do
But
you want to
he
just go
was,
with that?
I mean, he had multiple opportunities. So
He had plenty of opportunities, so
Yeah.
we will check in with Javi Lopez.
Javi Lopez, along with Tom Glavine, is 3rd on the list with
Yeah,
248
there we go.
starts
Nice,
with
Mason.
the Braves.
There we go. And now we're screwed.
how many was that for Glavine and Lopez? Just trying to
248.
get it. 240. Okay, well, that's where everything was falling apart here. I had
All
one
right, do
other
you want to
thought in
go
my
with
head.
your name that you were trying to pull? Like that's the only other thing we have. Like I have no idea.
I don't remember the catcher's name, but I'm
Okay,
pretty sure
yeah,
he was
go
there
for
for
it.
a while. So we're
Yeah,
gonna go
do
with
it.
the pitcher on this one because he was in Toronto for a long time. We're gonna go with Dave Stieb.
Dave Stieb and Ernie Witt is 8th on the list.
Oh,
Thank God.
Here's the name I was trying
look
to
at
figure out.
Scott's face. Scott would have been so upset if we got that.
202 starts with the Blue Jays.
I was not gonna be able to pull that name, Marcus.
So,
so
Marcus,
Yes.
you maybe should have gone with the player that you didn't know much about, because number 2 on the list is Gary Carter, along with Captain America himself, Steve Rogers. 270 starts with the Expos.
I had a feeling that could be on there, and I was like, I can't
right.
on a whim.
Number 4, Fernando Valenzuela and Mike Scioscia. 239 starts with the Dodgers.
Interesting.
Number 5, Mike Flanagan and Rick Dempsey. 208 starts with the Orioles. And number 6 on the list is Jack Morris and Lance Parrish. 207 starts with the Tigers.
All right,
All right.
I don't
I don't feel bad about any of that.
Can you please
Jack
do
Morris
a who
maybe.
for me at 12 times volume?
At 12
For all
times
of those,
longer.
it can't be for all those names.
Too many.
Flanagan Dempsey.
Ernie,
Okay,
Okay,
recognize either one.
Flanagan, Dempsey, Parrish. I mean, maybe Steve Rogers.
Actually, Gary Carter. I do
Fernando
know, 'cause he was in
Valenzuela,
that.
you have to have heard of him. Jack Morris, I'm
Yes.
hoping you've heard of Jack Morris.
I'm surprised I didn't think about Morris when I was thinking about Steve because those two battled a lot. I'm surprised I didn't think about Morris on that one.
Yeah.
But-
So, well, the problem with Morris is that then he went, he went to the Twins and then to the Blue Jays. Like after
But he
his
was with-
really long stretch
Yeah.
in Detroit, you might go, well, wait, was he there for as long as I think? And
that same sort of like we're thinking it might be better to go catchers, right? But then it's like some of the big catchers just moved around. So
Well, that's why Veritek felt good, but he probably wasn't.
And then
Yeah.
the problem there is you didn't have a starting
Yeah.
pitcher who was there.
But what about like Posada, Mauer? Were they anywhere near there?
You know,
I only have the top 8.
Ah, Yeah.
Because this was a list that had all of them through history. And
Gotcha.
the breakdown to this, for me to break
Right.
down the
And then
top,
you just were like, all
7-ish.
right, well, done with that.
Yeah.
Right. So anyone else who's around 200, and I don't think Mauer would be on that list because he didn't.
Well,
I
that
mean,
was
he
the
only- He only
thing.
caught for 6 years, and then there wasn't a consistent enough starter during that stretch.
So yeah, I had a thought about Dan Wilson only because he was consistently their catcher from like 95 through like 03, but he caught like the back half of Randy Johnson's tenure with the Mariners, and then he had Moyer, but Moyer's time wasn't long enough. But he's probably like decently close with one of those guys because he caught them a bunch.
Like I said, these ones are all 200, over 200. Everybody else would have been probably below 200.
I wonder where Greg Maddux and Eddie Perez are on this list, because he was Maddox's personal catcher in Atlanta like the entire time.
So when we were talking about Javi Lopez, I just was like, I don't know which one it would be with, so let's just say Javi Lopez, because he has to be up there with one of those guys.
Right, and that's why I wanted to just, like, when I first wrote it, I was like, I can't have them have to name both, because they would get one answer probably, maybe two. Like, the Wainwright Molina was like everybody kind of knows that they both just played there forever. So, all right. Well, after the third quarter, scores are a little different than what they were. Cleveland Rocks is at 350 and Tulane is at 455. And that brings us to the fourth quarter.
The fourth quarter, known as Put Your Fours Up. This quarter consists of 4 categorized questions that teams will wager up to 100 points each, not to exceed their current point total.
The categories for today are as follows. Question 1, Homie D Clown, in reference to wrestling. Question 2, Fire Marshal Bill, in reference to Major League Baseball. Question 3, Hey Man, in reference to the NBA. And question 4, Men on Football, in reference to the NFL. And for those of you listening at home, if you are not aware, those are all skits from In Living Color.
You know what, Josh? You get 2 snaps in a Z formation.
It is now time for the teams to place their wagers. Now that the wagers are in, on to the questions. Question 1, in the category of Homie D Clown. Who was the first wrestler to portray the character of Doink the Clown? He wrestled as Doink for numerous stints between 1992 and 2013, and also wrestled under the ring name Big Josh in the WCW prior to becoming Doink.
We can check in.
Oh, all right.
Too Lame has checked in, so Cleveland Rocks, you guys can talk it out.
How much you know about Doink the Clown, Meesh?
Nope.
Come on, Meesh. You know a little bit about Doink the Clown. Come on.
That's Josh Bomback? Big Josh?
Yeah.
Yes. He came out with a Sean Respert jersey. So a couple different guys played Doink. I know that the Brooklyn Brawler, Steve Lombardi, played him. There were a couple guys. I think the first guy under the mask was Matt Bourne. So we're just going to go with that. So we're going to check in with Matt Bourne for 100 points.
And Tulane, what was your answer and wager?
So on our way to the game today, my dad and his best friend and my brother and I were all talking about the very fantastic documentary series Dark Side of the Ring, and one of the most recent episodes of this current season is about Doink the Clown, played by Matt Bourne. So we checked in with that for 100 points.
Both teams will be getting their points. The correct answer is Matt Bourne. I would have also accepted Matt Osborne, which was his name at birth, but he wrestled under Matt Bourne. So Bourne as Doink appeared in WWF WrestleMania, the arcade game, and several versions of the video game WWE Raw. His evil Doink persona also appeared in the WWE 2K22 as part of a DLC.
Yeah, he was that dude was a lunatic. So my dad and his friend were reminiscing about his dad, Tough Tony Bourne, who was like a staple of Portland wrestling back in the day, and they used to go with my grandpa down to get down to go watch him wrestle. So we had a nice little conversation about that. So thanks, Josh, for bringing it all back for full circle today.
Because I assume that's what the D in Homie D Clown, right? It's Doink, right?
Yeah.
Homie Doink Clown.
Yeah, maybe.
There's no mention of his son.
Hey,
Epic.
but we all know one thing: homie don't play that.
All right, let's move on to question 2 in the category of Fire Marshal Bill. Billy Wagner ranks 6th on the career saves leader list, having put out 422 fires. However, he is 2nd on the list for left-handed closers behind what other southpaw closer?
You want to go with your name? Because I've never heard of
we'll
him?
do that. Yeah,
Sure.
we'll check in.
You can explain
All
that,
right.
but go for it.
Too Lame has checked in. Cleveland Rocks. You guys could talk it out for a little bit more?
I don't think this is too recent, Meesh, just because now thinking about this question, I was like, lefty closers are less common than you think, it seems like, right? Because I feel like
And also, yeah, all of the recent guys we can think of just wouldn't, yeah.
Well, yeah, like Aroldis Chapman and Josh Hader have been obviously some dominant ones, but
Hader is nowhere near long.
Thinking back like through the 2000s, even you got like Zach Britton, right, for Baltimore, BJ Ryan for Baltimore, Eddie Guardado, Ryan Fuentes, but none of those guys are going to come close to the top of that list. So
Kimbrel isn't.
Kimbrel's a righty, like, and then all the other Kimbrel, Papel, Troy Percival, like Hoffman. I think maybe this is John Franco, just based on longevity. I know that he was high on the list. Like,
I mean, yeah, if you think he's high on the list, we should.
Well, the guy started passing him. He was definitely like top 5 at some point. And he played
then
for.
That feels good.
So we're gonna check in with John Franco for 75 points.
Okay, and Too Lame, what did you guys have for an answer and a wager?
Well, our wager had a lot to do with our answer because we couldn't come up with anything, but we also wagered nothing. So the name that Mason apparently has no idea of, and who I said
I don't.
He's a lefty, baby, and he's definitely not the answer, but I have to shout him out. We checked in with Arthur Rhodes for 0 points.
Arthur Rhodes? Mason. Mariners legend, Arthur Rhodes.
Well,
why am I getting chastised for this? Who is Arthur?
So one team will be getting their points. The correct answer is John Franco. Franco finished his career with 2 more saves than Billy Wagner and sits 5th on the list of career saves leaders. I just looked it up again here. There are only 4 of the top 25 are lefties.
Wow.
Franco is 5th. Billy Wagner is 6th. Randy Myers is 14th. And Aroldis Chapman currently is 24th. He obviously... he's only 1 behind Rick Aguilera and 2 behind Todd Jones. So he's probably going to climb this list a little bit more because, since he's still playing. But there's lefty closers is not a real.
Yeah,
that's actually kind
thing.
of interesting, though, that it's all lefties that aren't. I mean, that there's not very many lefty closers.
Well, I feel like what happens is like similar to Arthur Rhodes, like they close for a couple years and then they always become setup men. Like even Guardado was a setup for a long time.
Yeah. Mariners legend Eddie Guardado.
Yeah. And like Arthur Rhodes, like Ray King was another black guy that was a lefty closer, but like went back and forth. For some reason, lefties, I think they just, make them more setup guys.
Yeah, that 2001 year, they alternated just depending on who was coming up in the inning. The 8th inning was either Jeff Nelson for righties or Arthur Rhodes for lefties, and then obviously Kaz Sasaki in the 9th. So, yeah.
Just to let you know, Arthur Rhodes is tied for 487th on the list. He had 33 saves.
Thank you, Arthur.
But he's probably in the top like 100 for hold.
Hey, that and in the Cleveland playoff series with the Mariners in 2001, can't remember the hitter, complained about his earrings being too big and they forced him to take off his earrings because he said there was a glare off of his earrings that was causing him to be unable to see, and they made him take off his earrings in the middle of an at-bat. It was crazy.
Well, with that, the game has gotten a little more interesting. We'll give a little score update here. Tulane is at 555, and Cleveland Rocks is up to 525. So it has gotten a lot closer. Granted, Tulane didn't lose any points, but they didn't gain any. So, all right, let's move on to question 3 in the category of Heyman. Monte Morris had been with the Denver Nuggets for 5 seasons through the 2021-22 season, but was unfortunately traded to the Washington Wizards along with Will Barton before the 2022-23 season for what 2 players? One of these players would go on to win their second NBA championship in 4 years, while the other player would win his first.
Yeah, I'm
Good.
I can't think of anything else. I'm fine with that.
Okay, we're gonna check in.
All right, Tulane is checked in, so Cleveland Rocks, you guys can talk it out. Give me your answer and your wager when you've got it.
Also, didn't Monte Morris just get traded again like 2 days ago? That's probably Josh's favorite text. Never mind.
But yeah, so
So KCP for sure.
and it's definitely his second. So
Yeah, because he won with the Lakers. Going through the rest of their roster, like one, they weren't very deep. They ran like a 7-man rotation in the playoffs, so it's not anyone else that played. I think it's
DeAndre.
because
Yeah,
he was on the Nuggets this past season. He didn't play at all. He got no minutes, and I was just reading like a free agency recap thing because he just signed somewhere else, and they graded it like an A signing because they were like, he's going to get to play. He didn't get to play on Denver at all this past season.
yeah. Let's
He
go
was
with
on
it.
he was definitely on the Wizards.
Oh yeah, then yes.
Trying to think of guys that went from that have been on both teams. Because like
No, yeah, and I can think of either. Yeah,
Jackson
wasn't
was
on
on the
it.
bottom of that bench, and DeAndre Jordan, like Denver, but they didn't come from Washington. At least Reggie Jackson did. I'm not sure where DJ had been before that, but I know Thomas Bryant at least has been on the Wizards. But it worries me because you're right, he definitely was a Laker. But did him and
No, I think I'm thinking of a different Bryant.
well, he was a Laker though. But I think maybe him and KCP both went from
Went with Westbrook or whatever.
So I mean, I don't know that we're gonna.
Yeah, no, I like it.
All right, we're gonna check in with Thomas Bryant and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope for 100 points.
Okay, and Tulane, what did you guys have for an answer or for answers and a wager?
Well, we, along with Scott and Meesh, were pretty quick on KCP. Made sense. He won with the Lakers, and then obviously was key part of this run this year. But there were a couple notable vets that were on that Nuggets bench that Scott's right did not play a bunch, and it was DeAndre Jordan was one, but one in particular, he's been on a lot of teams, and I feel pretty good about this. So we have checked in with Kentavious Caldwell-Pope and Ish Smith for 69 points.
Well, one team is getting points. The other, unfortunately, is losing points. The correct answers are Kentavious Caldwell-Pope and Ish Smith. Ish, and as Marcus was alluding to, Ish finally won a championship while playing for his record 13th NBA franchise. And I didn't know this, Scott, but I did look it up quick. Yes, yesterday, Monte Morris was traded to the Pistons. So at least he's not in.
He's got to cover up for all of Jaden Ivey's turnovers.
I mean, that's a little upgrade going from the Wizards to the Pistons.
Playing time wise, yes, because he's going to be the veteran point
guard.
Fair.
Jaden
Ivey, so he's probably for his role. Yeah, I think it's probably an upgrade for him.
All right. Well, scores got farther apart again. Let's just move on to the final question of the game in the category of men on football.
Hated it.
At halftime of Super Bowl 25, Fox aired a live episode of In Living Color. During the Men On sketch, Antoine Merriweather, David Allen Greer, was wearing a number 57 Houston Oilers jersey. What linebacker, who was a first-round draft pick out of Houston in the 1990 NFL Draft and played for 2 teams during his 9-year career, wore number 57 for the Oilers during the 1991 season? His best season was in 1996 while playing for the Carolina Panthers when he tallied 13.5 sacks.
Oh, this is very helpful information, Josh. I just am so angry at this question. Because you've given me plenty of information. It's just, oh, golly.
All right, we'll check in.
Oh,
all right. Cleveland Rocks has checked in, so too lame. You guys can talk it out, come up with your answer, and let me know your wager.
Oh boy!
All right. Well, we got plenty of time here, Mason.
You
checked in pretty quickly.
You got 2 minutes.
Right. Well, yeah, there's plenty of time. So it's somebody who played on the expansion-ish Panthers. Because, like, oh, man.
Yeah, I only played for 2 teams. So it's Oilers to Panthers.
Pick in 90 out of Houston.
Yeah, I have nothing on this.
I'm really frustrated because, like, me touting myself along with Scott and Eric about being draft people. It's just some drafts are just a complete black hole. I know in 1991, the number 2 pick was Steve Edman, or 92 was Steve Edman. And it's just like
myself as like a 95 and on draft guy.
Yeah. It's tough once you get past like kind of that point.
Thus, why there was more information given, not just the draft. So
for me, it's kind of 99, like the Tim Couch draft, or I guess Leaf and Manning. Doesn't matter. Okay, we need to think of somebody who tallied 13.5 sacks.
Yeah, relatively decent.
So what's frustrating is I know that Kevin Green was on the Panthers very early on, and he's obviously a Hall of Famer, but this is not him. So it's like, who was the other guy?
Who's the other guy? Yeah,
on those Panthers teams? And the University of Houston is not helpful because that was like the one fleeting moment when they were really good, when they had Andre Ware, and so it's like, who the F?
Who was their defensive leader, basically?
Right.
Yeah, I don't.
I can name like guys off of their secondary, like Mike Robertson and Chris Dishman, and there are guys I can name on that defense. I just don't know who this is. I don't think I can get there. So I'm trying to think based off of David Allen Greer and him wearing that. I'm like, was the guy's name Antoine, or maybe his last name was Merriweather? I don't know. But I don't.
I think that'd be too easy.
Yeah, I don't think it's there. Like when I think of 90 and linebackers, I think of like Quentin Coriat, but he definitely never got there. And I don't know in off the top that he played at Houston ever, so, or Carolina for that matter. So, I don't know. Let's
go with the last name, maybe. I don't know if that's gonna
let's
help,
do a lucky. We'll check in with Wright for 100 points.
Okay, and Cleveland Rocks, what did you guys have for an answer in a wager?
Lucky Wright. That actually sounds like a person. So, it's Scooby Wright, Lucky Wright.
Scooby Wright, Birmingham Stallions legend.
Yeah, we had no idea on this. No clue. I wanted to be nice and let these guys try to get to it by talking it out. No idea. Couldn't even fathom a guess. So, you know what? We're going to check in with Arthur Rhodes for 75 points.
Well, both teams are losing points. The correct answer is Lamar Lathan. Lathan made the Pro Bowl and was a second-team All-Pro in 1996.
Yeah, I remember Lamar Lathan, but all that other stuff about him, no idea, clue. I never could have placed
the thing you would
him.
have known him, like 96 was his big season,
right?
That he got his recognition for. So
never.
Did you say Sanaa Lathan?
Oh, yeah, big fan of that. Sanaa Lathan, absolutely.
All right. Well, the game has come to an end, and here are the final scores. Cleveland Rocks finishes with 350, which, this was a tough game, especially after you roll past halftime. So hang your heads high, please. But our clipboard captains of the game, who will be receiving the coveted Davis Mills, as he's about to be a backup, award with 524 points, is Too Lame.
I was trying to elongate my neck like Davis Mills.
Oh, is that what you were doing?
You don't have nearly enough neck to.
There's that picture of David Culley like putting both hands around his neck while there's still space in between where his helmet is. It's wild. He's got a bird neck. It's amazing. Anyways.
All right. So, Meesh, is there anything that you'd like to say before we call it a night?
No. Thanks for having me on, guys. Tough game. Tough game for me specifically. Scott, thanks for the attempted carry. Wait, how much did we lose by? As long as Ish Smith didn't cost us the game, I can sleep.
The only way Ish Smith would have cost you the game is
if we were within 200.
Lamar,
Yeah.
if you would have had Lamar Latham.
Yeah.
So without the last two, it didn't matter.
Thank God. But yeah, no, it was a good game. I could see how it's a good game. No, I just have a very specific like wheelhouse type stuff, and if it's not there, I'm useless.
Well,
most of it happens.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's a good time. Always a good time.
Well, we appreciate you coming on, and there are other people who have. I don't remember how many games Tim Geving lost to start his career, but it was more than 3, I do believe. It took him a long time to get to a win. I think he has one.
Well, no, hold up. I lost with Ian though, so that's got to.
Oh
me
wow,
right.
yeah. Misha's like, my streak is more impressive because I've lost with Eric.
All right, fair.
That's awesome. Hey, Mish, it was so good to meet you, man. It was a lot of fun.
Great to meet you too.
Yeah, this is a good game, Josh. It kind of spanned everything. It was nice.
Well, thanks for playing, guys. And Mish, you are always welcome back. So I would like to say on behalf of Scott, Mason, Marcus, and myself, I would like to say thanks for listening to the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast. And until next time, we'll keep the bench warm.
That ball hit high and deep. Stretch. Get on back there. They look up. You can put it on the board. Yes.
Into deep left center for Mitchell. And we'll see you tomorrow night.
That great music you're listening to is by Justin Nozick. Thanks to him for producing that music for us. You've been listening to the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast. Make sure to check us out on all of our social media. We are at BenchwarmersTP.